Hello, my name is Samantha Tovar, and I will be doing my oral presentation on the beginnings of the manned space center and how it related to the Cold War and a couple other things in history. I know it's not like one thing in history, but I just think that the Space Center is so cool. So here goes. So living less than 15 minutes away from the Johnson Space Center, formerly known as the Manned Space Center, it's easy to forget how big of an advancement that it was in technology, science, and even history. And it even will continue to be as the research and work will continue. It's easy to pass by every day or to go to the events and tours that they have, or even people that work there. It's easy to forget how big of an advancement in technology it was for America. So the Manned Space Center was founded for just kind of to expand NASA and its research, and obviously to advance in technology and to pass up the USSR in the Cold War. During the Cold War, around 1957, the USSR launched 2 different satellites into orbit from Earth, which the US kind of took as a threat to security because we were in the Cold War. The technology kind of scared everybody. And you never know, it could be used for spying. So they opened up, it opened up a perfect opportunity to open up the Johnson Space Center in Houston, to conduct more projects and more research to try to pass up this advancement, especially since the U.S. always thought that we would be the first ones to send something up into orbit and be successful at it. Let's see. So it was the launching of Sputnik, which was the satellite, kind of hit big. The tensions were already high, so the tensions got worse after that. And then just to kind of rub it in our face, Russia launched another missile, or another satellite. There we go. They launched another satellite with a dog on it, which was also successful. And then they released some test missiles that they had been working on. The U.S. was not even close kind of to these successes or that research, so it kind of scared us. It scared our military, and it put Russia in the perfect place to scare the citizens that our military was kind of far behind on technologies and research. So that Cold War lasted for about 45 years. And there were plenty of tests and research that came out that of like nuclear bombs and different ways to completely wipe out the other country. But on the other side of it, while it was a scary time in history, these advancements did eventually lead to the moon landing, which was also associated with the Johnson Space Center in Houston. So in 1961, President Kennedy kind of put a time limit on it. He wanted the moon landing to be successful and happen within the century, which meant that before 1970 they had to have a successful moon landing and get them back to Earth safely. It took the researchers I'm getting ahead of myself. So this led also to the opening of the Johnson Space Center. It was built in 1962. In 1963, the staff was able to move in that next year. And then it was fully operating by 1964. So the staff was starting to move in, and they were starting the research in 63, but not all the buildings were open until 1964. It took them about 6 years to get all the work and research, the technologies, and all of the failed experiments to finally have a successful run to a moon landing. So July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong took the first steps on the moon. This was an impressive accomplishment for American technology. Because if you can remember, just 12 years prior, the United States did not even have a successful satellite launch with nobody on it. So now there were real Americans on the moon, and it was the first humans on the moon, so we beat everybody to it. Unfortunately, President Kennedy did not live to see his goal achieved, as he was assassinated in 1963, just as the means for his plan had finally been able to begin. So he got to see the Space Center get opened up and kind of start the research on it, but he did not make it to the moon landing, sadly. Soon after the moon landing, the paperwork and documentation of the moon landing were lost, but that has not discouraged the Johnson Space Center and its employees or staff. They still work very hard towards achieving another successful moon landing and recovering the lost data. As I said earlier, the Johnson Space Center was clearly not just one event in history, as it does continue to create history, and it's been a part of multiple events that were important to American history. But I also think that it's important not to become too numb to the achievements and advances that we have made in technology because of this center that they've been able to open up. It's helped us catch up to Russia and pass up our competing countries, and which is kind of big for America, likes to be number one. Sorry, I keep saying it's annoying. Gosh. So, as I said, it starts to blend in after a while, but that's only if you allow it to. So you can either pass by it and say like, oh yeah, it's there, or you can pass by and let it stand as a constant reminder of how far we've come in discoveries and successes as Americans. And the work and experiments and research done by the staff at JSC has changed the United States and the ideas of what it's capable of forever, which is really a big part, just having that motivation to keep going and keep researching, because we can be successful. It takes a while, but if you keep working hard, it'll get you to the top, which that's America for you. And it's always encouraging to know that there's more that can be done, even in just a small part of the NASA organization. So I just thought that was a cool topic to do for my oral presentation. I hope you enjoyed.